When major weather events like Hurricane Helene hit, the damage goes beyond the trees and power lines. They can also impact our rivers and streams, leading to issues with flooding and erosion long after the storm is gone. That's why programs like the Emergency Watershed Protection are so important. They play a unique part in debris cleanup after the storm. Today, we're sitting down with our stormwater compliance team to learn how EWPP works, what it covers, and how it's helping stabilize our waterways to help minimize flooding impacts.
EWPP is the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. It is a grant program through the Natural Resource Conservation Service. It serves to help recover aspects of the environment, particularly waterways, following a natural disaster, in this case, Hurricane Helene.
We applied for this grant back in October. We had 60 days from the date of the disaster to apply.
This is a recovery grant, a resiliency grant. It is not a beautification project. If the private property owners give permission for an approved location per NRCS, what it will allow is for the series contractor to enter into the property and remove those blockages from the stream. There's certain criteria that have to be met. And as long as those criteria are met and the private property owner is agreeable to us accessing their property, then it'll be cleaned up. For every location that's been approved by NRCS, we are sending out a letter about a week or two in advance of work starting. In addition to the letter, you will be visited by a member of the series staff, the contractor that's working on this project, to get right of entry form approval. If they visit your property and you're not home, they'll leave a hanger so that you can confirm that they were there, and then they'll have a phone number you can reach them at to expedite that process. I'd also like to say that we are on a tight time frame, so if you do get a hanger, please give them a call back, help get that ball rolling a little bit faster.
Any sort of critical infrastructure such as water lines, sewer lines, storm lines, things of that nature, if those are being impeded or if it's in danger of debris moving downstream against the sewer line that crosses the creek or something, we want to remove that debris.
There's many things to take into account, not just debris removal. NRCS has a lot of guidelines. But we also want to make sure that not only is that property left stable, but the stream is as well.
In a lot of cases, what we found is that someone may be in an area that was hit hard by the storm, but when you look at the floodplain, their house may be elevated well above the floodplain and is at no risk of flooding in a future rain event, or it's too far off of the creek.
The grant money comes from the federal government through the Natural Resource Conservation Service, and they reviewed every property for a bunch of criteria, and they were ultimately the ones who not only helped us understand the grant guidelines, but also reviewed every single property, all the variables, and said yes or no, approved, not approved. After the hurricane, citizens reached out for a variety of reasons, and one of the main concerns was pertaining to the debris in the stream behind their house. It's a tough pill to swallow to understand that that is actually part of private property, and therefore the responsibility of a private property owner to handle. Those concerns did not fall on deaf ears. We tracked them, and we were on the lookout for an opportunity like this, and then it hit our radar that NRCS offered this grant opportunity, and we immediately started researching and figuring out how we can get that benefit brought to the citizens of Columbia County. The overall goal for this grant is essentially resiliency. Hurricane Helene greatly impacted many properties across the county, and our hope is that the blockages, the debris, the impacts that are still being seen in our waterways that not only cause flooding, but risk impact to a nearby sewer line or a nearby roadway or a nearby home will be removed. We would love to do this across every stream in the county, but unfortunately, the amount of money that NRCS gave us is very specific, very defined, and based on all of their criteria. This money is also split across many other municipalities. So the hope is that at the end of the day, a lot of this damage will be removed, and the next rain event, that water will flow a little bit more freely. It's not going to take away historic issues like flooding on a property, but hopefully it will take away any flooding or damage impacts associated with hurricane debris.
We've spoken with multiple environmental agencies, Georgia EPD, the Environmental Protection Division. We've spoken with them about the buffers. We talked to the Army Corps of Engineers about wetlands and the stream beds, and multiple other agencies that are involved in this process to make sure that we have approvals, that what we are doing is within the scope of existing laws, so that we don't get in trouble later down the line.